In this video, we are going to explore the 5 key dynamics of friendships and relationships in general in our 40s. Yes, you read that and heard that correctly. I am in my 40s. Thank you, Mama, for the beautiful genes where I look like younger than what I probably look like right now to a lot of people. Well, so is the feedback that I've heard. Sometimes when I do look in the mirror and I look at myself, I look like a child. That's honestly my thoughts. And that could be a projection of how I feel inside and my current emotional maturity, being that I sometimes feel and think that I think like a child. I am just a grown ass child. Now, I was listening, it is currently the 2nd of January, 2024, and today I was listening to a video from a guy called Tom, could be Tom Cook. I don't know what his last name is. He does a lot of sciencey videos, and he was talking about how he did a video a week for 10 years. And now that he's done that, he is really pulling back and slowing back. I don't know if he will continue with the YouTube channel or whatever, but his intention from the beginning, from 10 years ago, 2014, was that he would upload a video every week for exactly 10 years. And he's done exactly that. And his first video upload was the 1st of January, 2014. Now, of course, I started getting into self-critical mode. And I was like, well, it's the 2nd of January. It's not the 1st of January. I should have done this in the 1st of January. Why didn't I think of that? And then the other part of me was like, this guy started his YouTube channel in 2014. 2 years after that, 2016 was when I really wanted to start a YouTube channel. I had this really burning desire. It's the whole story behind it. And I did it because I thought at the time I was quote unquote too old for YouTube. And then a number of other things happened in my life. And so when I read that video, I thought, I'm going to jump on this and I'm going to do this today because I have tried to do this. Oh, that was a hacky sort of laugh right there. I have tried to do this multiple times. And the really great thing about me is that I am really persistent and I will keep trying and I'll keep trying and I'll keep trying. And I recently moved from a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house to a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment and did a lot of decluttering. Part of that decluttering was all these journals that I kept over, well, like maybe 15 years. And the one key thing that I kept seeing in these journals is that no matter what life threw at me, I got back up and I tried again. I got back and I tried again. I got back up and I tried again. So that's what this video is absolutely, I'm going to be talking about friendships in our 40s, and the intent behind this is to do a video a week for the next 10 years to document my 40s. And I need to start this now. And I need to do this now because I keep trying to do it. And I keep floating around this idea of exploring what life in our 40s looks like, particularly as a brown, single woman with no kids who lives alone. What does that look like? And what could that look like? And I don't mean that, and I don't define myself in a way that's negative. And when you say that you are a 40-year-old woman who is a brown woman, because there are many cultural overlays around that, you are single, you are living at home, and you have no kids, the world can see that as problematic. They can see that as a deficit. They can see that as you having a problem, or perhaps even being a problem. And I absolutely see that as a strength. I see that many respects around that. I see this as a privilege. And I also believe in divine timing. And actually I have a song playing in the background by this really great artist that I just find. And the song is called Divine Assignment. Not too sure if you can hear it because I don't want to stop the video and things like that. But the song is called Divine Assignment. So I really believe this is my divine assignment. I have not been very obedient to that assignment. I have definitely not been consistent. And that grit, that persistence in me, listen to that video in the morning. I then saw Tabitha Brown, who I love so much. I would love a Tabitha Brown to cook for me one day. And Tabitha posted this video, the video that first went viral. And it wasn't the video that grabbed my attention. It was what she wrote in this description, which is she heard in a dream, or she heard God tell her that God wanted her to make videos. And so that's what she did. And it was a video about her eating this amazing sandwich from Whole Foods, vegan sandwich. And that is what put her on this trajectory. Now she has, like, I think on Instagram, like 4 million followers. She's had all these amazing like business opportunities, and she has grown. And what I really love about Tabitha is that her essence has not changed. If she has actually stepped into this phenomenal power that has always been there. It's that the platform has enabled that to be more visible to people. And by it being more visible to people, it's been being visible to me. And it really inspired me because I had a similar experience, not really a dream, more of a spiritual big experience. And then 2016, I had one of those experiences in which the calling was to do YouTube and to be public and to be really visible. And I really pushed against that. And I have pushed against that for 8 fucking years. And I have tried here and there to do it. I think 2016, I did try. I think I did no, that was 2018 series of videos. And then I thought they were really crap and I deleted them all. Well, I didn't make them public on YouTube. So that is what we're doing. So the intention is, and the commitment is to do this for the next 10 years, God willing, I live for the next 10 years. And, you know, some of the things that I've been hearing, because my 2 passions are personal transformation and business transformation. And the thing that I've been hearing in both of those spaces is this idea of committing for 10 years. And that has really intrigued me because, number one, that if anything is a commitment, committing for 10 years is a big commitment. Secondly, it's about playing the long game, right? Because I think a lot of us expect really fast results. We think everything is going to be fast, like making instant noodles in a microwave. Like, no, it's not going to work that way. It doesn't operate that way. For some people, it does. I believe what I call the 1%ers, it does. And I believe a large amount of that is privilege. I believe a large amount of that is timing, luck, whatever you want to call it. There's a different sort of dynamic that is not attributed to effort and hard work. Because if everything was attributed to hard work and effort, then everyone would be fucking successful, right? I would see more successful people because there are many people that are putting in the effort and the hard work. So I believe a lot of that luck or is because of something sort of third world-y, sort of like out there. Third world meaning third sort of, I don't know, whatever you believe in, whether it's God or Allah or the universe or the divine or aliens, whatever you believe in, I believe there's something out there. I believe that it's timing. I believe it's divine assignments. And these are things that are outside of you. And I also believe that a main attributor to success is actually playing the long game. And the reason why people fail is because they don't play the long game. That said, with my laundry in the background, I was going to remove that, but I thought, you know what, fuck, I'm going to leave that because this is what life in my 40s as a single with no children, living alone, because that seems to be a thing on YouTube, living alone, living single, being alone, living alone. That is what this looks like. My laundry trying to dry in the background. So hopefully it does this thing and it dries because we need us some more underwear. That's what we need, okay? So that is the intention. So this is me putting it out there. I better fucking do this, yeah. So the one thing that Tabitha Brown said in her video was she was obedient and she was consistent. So she had that dream and had been showing up already online with content for 5 months. And then I don't know if that dream was before she started creating content or after she did this video. And that video then went viral, and Tabitha is where she is today. Pinky Cole is another fantastic example. Pinky Cole also knew intuitively, which I believe, is God speaking to us, that she needed discipline in her life. So she implemented and developed the skill of self-discipline through health and wellness and her mind. I think from memory, it was her reading a book a day, she was vegan already, but eating entirely plant-based, maybe raw foods, I think from memory, and exercising every day. And there could be other things. I could have all those things wrong. I don't know. It was this thing that she did every day. And then by showing up and developing the skill of self-discipline, because she knew that in order to prepare her for her foundation, to prepare the foundation for her future, she needed self-discipline. God required her to have self-discipline in her life. And by developing that skill, one day that idea for Slutty Vegan came into her mind. Now multi-million-dollar business, right? Hugely successful. And Pikiko has developed and created this really, really powerful personal brand for herself. So she has created this business, but I really believe that she's doing what a lot of entrepreneurs are doing now, which is creating a very strong and powerful personal brand, which at some point they may monetize or may not. I also know that personal branding really helps in terms of revenue growth and scaling, a business as well, because consumers are now wanting to purchase a product because of the founder and their story and what they believe in and who they are, not just because of the product itself. So anyway, we went on a bit of a tangent. We're supposed to be talking about friendships. Okay. So that is the intention of this video. And I keep reiterating that video because I'm not really reiterating that for the public. I'm reiterating that for myself, I think. Yeah. Okay. So the theme that has been coming up this past week and a bit has been friendships. And there are 5 key dynamics that I have seen as dynamics that have prevented and will continue to prevent if I allow them. And I guess, there's only so much we can control, right? So we will do our best. 5 troubling dynamics that I have really seen in the friendships that I've had. I can't really speak to dating because I have not done a lot of dating in the last 8 years, maybe even almost 9 years. I haven't done a lot of dating. So I can't really speak to the romantic side. I've done dating, but I haven't been in relationships actually per se. So I don't know, not really up to date with the whole thing. What I can speak to is relationships in terms of the non-sexual, platonic kind. So the thing that I've noticed, because 8 years ago, my life was not where it is, okay? My life was one hot fucking mess, okay? One hot fucking mess, which is why I'm so passionate about my life at my 40s being the most phenomenal part of my life, because I really feel that the trauma that I experienced in my early 20s really put me off track to my greatness and really put me off track to experiencing any kind of meaningful success in my life. And yes, I did achieve things and I did it, did create some success, but not to the extent of which I knew was possible for me and I knew was possible for my life. Of which case I then spent my 30s recovering from that after hitting rock bottom when I was maybe, what am I now? 40. So 31, 32. And spent pretty much my whole life recovering, not my whole life, my whole of my 30s recovering from that. And it's only been this last year that I really feel like, as I turn 40, that I am where I want to be, right? I am where I always wanted myself to be. And I know that there is more for me in store, but I know that this is a crucial, key turning pivotal moment in my life where I know it's only going to go up from here. And because I feel like I lost my 20s and my 30s, I lost the joy, the peace, the contentment, the fulfillment, the success that I could have achieved. I lost the potential, and that was stripped away from me for my trauma. And then I then stripped away that opportunity for myself because I continued to not heal from that trauma and release myself from that trauma in order to achieve my success in my life. I have had to, last 8 years, really relearn a lot of different parts of my life. And one of the key parts that I've had to relearn, which is also why I've really hit pause on dating and being in a relationship. Well, we have dated a little bit here and there, but, gone on dates, not really like being in a relationship. So, I have been single since 2013, okay? 2013, technically been single. And the reason why I put off dating for so many years and only recently have started like sort of dabbling in relationships because I'm, doubling back into the dating life is because I am relearning relationships and I'm relearning what healthy relationships look, and I'm relearning how to be in a healthy relationship. And I'm now relearning how to identify a healthy relationship. And now what I know that I deserve and what I know to be true is that a life is deserving of healthy relationships, and a life I am deserving of having healthy relationships in my life. And so over the last 8 years, I've had friends come into my life and I've had let them go. And I've also let go of friendships of 18 years, of 5 years, of 2 years. And there's a friendship even at the moment where I am contemplating letting go of that friendship. And we haven't been friends for that long, but it seems like the pattern is that it's getting a lot shorter because I'm realizing and relearning, this is part of the relearning, that I have responsibility to myself around my happiness. And I will speak about this in another video because this is something that I'm learning as well. 80% is in my control. There's a 20% that is outside of control. There's in God's control. There's the universe's control. That is in whatever you believe's control. That is, luck, whatever you believe, But I do believe that, the 80% that is in my control, I have a responsibility to show up as a fucking adult and make decisions about relationships. And I now know that I don't need to be in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or a sexual or romantic relationship. I don't need to be in that relationship just because we are biologically the same, or just because, or because that they are a good person. A person can be a good person and still not be the right dynamic for you because their dynamic and your dynamic, there is some kind of toxicity that is evolving in there. So the 5 sort of key patterns that I've seen over the years, and particularly that has really come to light in the past week, has been, first of all, myself. So I have this habit of when I'm around someone that I perceive as being more successful than me, I make myself small to not be a threat to them. I make myself small to elevate them, to empower them. I put them and their needs before me and what I perceive to be their needs, being empowered, being to be elevated, to be respected, whatever it is, without asking and checking in with them first. And clarifying, right? Asking to clarify. And, it's so important to checking in to say, my understanding is it the same as your understanding? I've made this assumption that, people that I perceive to be more successful than me are people that require respect, and that respect needs to come in the form of me making myself small and diminishing and dismissing myself every time I'm around them. And the way that I do this is by acting goofy and like, ha, 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 ha. And, look at me, I'm a bit of a clown and I don't know anything and I haven't really achieved anything. And like, look at you, you're so amazing. And that's also why these people like to hang around me, because I make them feel amazing, rather than standing in my power. And what I know is that because I haven't chosen to stand in my power, people fuck with that, okay? People fuck with that. They will exploit your vulnerability. And this is a pattern that has been going on in my life. So because I have chosen to not stand in my power, to own my power, to create my inner power, my inner power, my presence, that knowingness, that love and compassion and understanding of who I am and what I believe in and my place in the world, my vision, my, calling that's upon my life, my divine assignment, and talking about that and owning that and living from that place. And I am one of the very few people in the world that has had that kind of a spiritual experience, well, as far as I know, I haven't spoke to like the 4 billion people that are on this planet. And all I know is that to the people that I have spoken to, particularly in all the spiritual circles, whether it be people that are Hindu, Muslim, Islamic, Christian, Catholic, believe in chakras, burn sage, whatever religion and faith, I have asked people, and they don't know a lot of people that have experienced something like that, and they themselves, as spiritual as they are, haven't experienced something like that. So I have not taken that seriously, right? I have, perception is projection. I have made myself small, and I have also that divine assignment, that spiritual experience, that phenomenal spiritual experience that I have chosen to make that small. And that is not a small thing. That was not a fucking small thing. That was a huge fucking thing. That was a huge fucking thing, mind-blowing thing. And I have made that small and therefore made myself small in order to be accepted. I have sacrificed myself for acceptance. And people smell that and people sniff that and they take advantage of that. People fuck with that. So do not diminish your sense of yourself. I can be very loud. I can be very extroverted. I can have really big energy when I come into a room. And I know that and I'm aware of that. And that's one of the things that I have felt may have been a threat to people, be too much for people, be overwhelming to people. People may look at me and think that I'm a bit of a douchebag or whatever, a bit of a loser, think that I'm all that. Whereas that's who I am. That's me. And when I give myself permission to be me and stop sacrificing who I am for acceptance, I accept myself. And that's the most powerful place to be. And when you accept who you are and you then step into places and situations and people and relationships with a sense of power, people will not fuck with that. Yeah. And I know that because I have some role models in my life where when they are in my presence, when I am in their presence, I do not want to fuck with them, right? Because they don't even have to open their mouth. They just stand there and they just have this energy with them. So they're the first two dynamics, right? Really troubling dynamics in relationships, specifically, friendships that I've seen, particularly now in my 40s, where I'm in a different place in my life, financially and career-wise, and am a 40-year-old single brown woman with no kids living alone. Which is that I make myself small to not be a threat to anyone. I sacrifice my identity for acceptance, and I don't stand in my power when I'm with people. And when I do that and I give up my power, people seek to exploit that. They seek to fuck with that. The third dynamic is that I don't spend the time to regularly check in with myself on how relationships are making me feel. I was listening to a podcast with Alain de Bottom. Don't know if I'm pronouncing their name correctly. They were on the podcast, which is called The Diary of a CEO. And they were talking about the importance of awareness, which I've always believed I've had awareness, but do I have awareness? No, because this one particular friendship that I had recently, there were signs. I have spent the last way too much time, actually. So I spent Saturday night, all day Saturday and Sunday night, all day Monday, day and night, really dissecting and pulling apart this friendship, the dynamics, the conversation that really put a hook in this friendship, really dissecting it from a psychological perspective. And there have been signs all along the way that this is someone that is not deserving to be in my life to the extent that I have allowed them in, and that I have chosen to be vulnerable with them, with which they have then exploited that. And this is also someone who I have also chosen to diminish myself, like my power and my presence with. And that has also come at this intersection where they have then fucked with that. So what can I do differently? What I need to do differently is spending every single night reflecting on where my life is, in particular my relationships. How did I feel after as a result? Like really, really, really dissecting, because I thought that I was reflecting on the friendship. I thought that I was reflecting on the friendship. I was like, every time I hang out with this person, I feel great, and we have such a great time, and we have so much in common. I'm so happy, you know, like this person might just be my best friend, hopefully in the future one day. Like, I don't know. And actually, there were these signs all along the way of this person, I don't know, maybe feeling threatened or not using me just to not feel alone on a Friday, Saturday night. Because we will, you know, go out and hang out and, you know, do stuff together. And rather than it being a really deep and meaningful, you know, friendships. And yes, we did talk about stuff that was, you know, deep and meaningful to us, but I didn't feel that connection, right? That connection where this is someone that really understood me and respected who I was. And so spending the time to check in with ourselves on how this relationship is making me feel and what are the dynamics in that relationship, you know, looking at the information, paying attention also to our emotions as data, I think is really, really key. So I didn't spend enough time checking in with myself. And we need to do that on a daily basis, not just with friendships, but in all areas of our life, of what's working, what's not working, to really check in with our awareness and really go deep on that, to not just check in with our surface level awareness, right? To really go deeper, more in and tap into the mind. The other dynamic that I've found, the fourth dynamic, is that when people feel intimidated by my success or feel intimidated by my energy and how I show up in the space, they seek to put me down. My role that what is my responsibility and what I did not do on Saturday night is that I did not end the conversation. So one of the things that I loved from Lisa Messenger in many of the books that she's written is that she has said repeatedly that if she's in a meeting or in a space and she will actually physically get up and say, the energy in this room is not serving me right now, and she will physically leave. That's it. All she needs to say, all she needs to do, and she will leave. And I have really, really admired that. And we are still struggling to implement that in our life. Okay. So well, we are trying because we are persistent and we have grit. So we are trying. So for me, it's about being more assertive with boundaries. And when people put me down or seek to put me down, first of all, clarifying what their intention is. Also paying attention to my intuition, because people will not always, the majority of people will not admit when they're at fault, even whether that's intentional or unintentional. And so calling it out and removing myself from that environment, that space, is really, really key. And that's what I have observed as a pattern in my life, that when people feel intimidated or uncomfortable with my success also being how I show up in the world, things that I go for, changes that I implement in my life, they seek to put me down to make themselves feel more comfortable. The last dynamic is people not dealing with their shit and thinking that you should just get on with it. So I'm someone that feels my emotions and gives myself permission to feel my emotions to an extent, because the extreme of that, which has been the problem in the past, has been that I have not had the skills to regulate my emotions, of which those emotions have then become destructive. On the flip side, feeling my emotions is what has really enabled me to do the work that I do in terms of personal transformation, business transformation, leader transformation, organizational transformation, because I'm so aware of myself and my own emotions, and I'm able to connect with the emotions and connect with other people as well. And sometimes what I have observed in people, the people that I've attracted into my life, have been people that have this assumption that you should just get on with it, that you should put your feelings, your emotions into a box and just fucking get on with it. And that is toxic, and that is really problematic. And they then look at me like I am the problem because I am feeling my emotions and I'm giving myself permission to feel my emotions. And I am talking about where I am in my life. Now, these are people that have not earned that vulnerability. And that is something that I am going to continue working on to stop doing. And that is being so vulnerable and trusting of everyone, and really evaluating relationships and friendships and where they're at to decipher if they have earned that level of vulnerability, because they have not earned that level of vulnerability, but also comes with a trust, then they will seek to exploit that, right? So I need to only be vulnerable with people that I trust and respect, and I need to look for the information, for the data points to tell me that, rather than thinking, oh, they're a nice person, they're nice, and just verbal diarrhea all over them about my entire life. I also believe that this idea of like getting on with it is like hugely problematic, and what is driving all the chaos in the world right now, including the world currently burning with war, climate change, and a whole lot of other things. Thinking that this attitude that we should just fucking get on with it. No, we need to address the root problem, the root causes, in order for change to happen. We can't just fucking get on with it. Fuck that. That is me. And these are the 5 troubling dynamics that I have seen in friendships in my life today, but particularly right now, having just turned 40 and being able to look life a little bit more objectively. And that is making myself small to not be a threat to others, diminishing who I am, which is me then not standing. Number 2, me not then standing in my power and people fucking with that, taking advantage of that, not spending enough time. Number 3, not spending enough time to check in with myself and look at the data points and the information from that dynamic, that relation, the dynamics in that relationship, to see, is this someone that has my trust and respect? The 4th dynamic is people feeling intimidated by my success, that they put me down, feeling intimidated by your power, your energy, your presence, they put you down. These are people not deserving to be alive. Kick them the fuck out. And the 5th one is people not dealing with their shit and having the attitude, the mentality that you should get on with it. And one of the ways that shows up is that every time you speak about something, as soon as you speak about it, they will put a positive spin on it. Like, no, as Simon Sinek said in a podcast with the Diary of a CEO, I just need you to be in the mud with me. I don't need to fix me. I don't need to change me. I don't need you to give me advice. I need you to sit in the mud with me. I hope that has been really helpful to you. My intention is to do a video once a week for the next 10 years, document life in my 40s, so that you can have the best 40s of your life as well. Hope that helps and serves you. For anyone outside of your 40s, hey, this helps and serves you. That's amazing too. Have a brilliant day and a fantastic start to the year. Happy 2024. 24 is a multiple of 6. 6 is my lucky number, and I feel like this year is going to be my lucky year. So I really look forward to you joining me in this journey as I continue to 10x my life. Take care. Bye.